Dear management, I'll try to keep this brief, and I'll do my best to get to the point as quickly as possible. But first, allow me to air a handful of grievances relating both to you and your lackadaisical performance as the general manager of the Grill's Youngstown location, as well as to the generally absurd manner with which the company, i.e., Earl's American Grill Restaurant Group, Inc., chooses to carry out its business operations. Before I go any further, I should probably point out that I have purchased food from the grill dozens, if not hundreds, of times, and that therefore I am a repeat paying customer. And ergo, this letter qualifies as a customer complaint of sorts, and should probably be treated as such. Feel free, in fact, feel encouraged, to hang it on the wall right on the inside of the leftmost doors to the kitchen, next to all the other customer comments and below the list of arbitrary and pointless statistics like tip percentage, guest hospitality index, per guest average, etc. Yes, I am aware that my comments may stick out from the others with regard to grammar, syntax, and basic spelling skills, but I promise not to let this embarrass me. First, your general performance as a general manager. When I first started working for you, I had this impression that you were a decent manager, an okay person, business savvy, compassionate, and a little paunchy. It turns out that I was less than right on all counts, save for the paunch. You've demonstrated, for example, poor business sense by repeatedly refusing to cut employees during far less than peak hours, by blindly following and ostentatiously praising the business practices of the company for which you work, and by booking reservations for large parties during periods when it's patently obvious that the servers on the floor will be unable to handle said parties without spontaneously combusting, yanking out all their hair, or sitting in the corner, arms wrapped around legs in the fetal position and weeping, and refusing to have the sweepers fixed or replaced. On the subject of compassion and your being a decent person, well, the examples are simply too numerous to list. But understand that they are reprehensible, and none of the employees who work under you would treat you with the lack of respect that you constantly show them. Regarding the above examples, I am willing to offer these words of advice. Start caring, if only just a little. Then there is the company itself. I could go on and on for some many hours about the absolutely ridiculous number of coupons that go out each week, which can only hurt business in the long run, and also which effectively propagate the, let's admit it, theft of tips which servers would have made had said coupons not been so munificent. The mandatory and repetitious offer of spicy cheese fondue before a customer has had a chance to ask for even drinks, to which the response is almost always a resounding no, followed 15 minutes later by an emphatic, hey you didn't offer me the spicy cheese fondue. Or the fact that the majority of our cooks are not chefs, and the majority of our bartenders not mixologists. And even if they are mixologists, they're not allowed to mix drinks in a manner befitting a mixologist, so really, what's the point? But these things, as profoundly harebrained as they are, don't bother me nearly as much as the draft beer size-price quandary. We are, beginning today, i.e. brand-changing day, insisting on serving standard draft beers smaller than a pint, a practice which I'm 99% certain is disallowed by the laws of the universe. And further, we insist on selling them at prices that would make even the Trappist monks laugh/cry. But my true concerns lie neither with your managing capabilities nor with any one specific company, but rather the entire concept of the American restaurant chain needs to disappear from our collective consciousness. The food at said chain is bad and often dreadfully unhealthy, packed with chemicals and fillers and unnecessary calories. And the corporate mindset permeates the entire dining experience in a way that is disconcerting. There is a reason I only order steak and salad for my employee meals, and that reason is that I, like any health-conscious, semi-educated human person, prefer to eat real food. And there's very little real food on the menu of any corporate-owned dining establishment. And yet I can go right down to the street, just a mile or two, to privately owned places and get quality food prepared with quality ingredients, and sometimes even a little bit of artistic flourish, along with good beer and good wine and good cocktails and a kind of atmosphere and a heart worth paying for. And that's really what people are looking for: good food and good company. But we live right now in a world that so very often refuses to allow us the time or the means by which to acknowledge our options, to explore our own tastes and needs and desires. And so instead of packing up and heading out in search of great experiences, we latch on to the experiences we think are good, the experiences we've been told are good, or even just the experiences we're used to, the ones we've come to think of as good enough. And we repeat those same experiences over and over and over again because it's all we know and all we have time to know. And it doesn't matter whether they're actually good at all. This is why we go to casual American chain restaurants. And this is why I've worked in 4 of them. And this is why I'll never work in one again. All of this, then, is to say that I hereby submit my 2 weeks' notice. But if you wish to fire me outright, I understand. Because, well, now things are just a bit awkward, aren't they?